Hello, and welcome to the Rapise Salesforce.com webinar. In today's webinar, presented by Denis Markovsev, we will be talking about how to record a Salesforce.com test using the Rapise test automation tool. We'll first of all be recording the test using the Rapise Visual Language. This is a scriptless framework. We will create a new Salesforce.com lead in the system. We will verify the data created and then perform cleanup actions. After that, we will explore some advanced topics, including integration with our SpiraTeam test management system, data-driven testing using maps and loops, and using JavaScript for more advanced testing. After this will be a Q&A.
Rapise is a general-purpose tool for automated testing of desktop, web, and mobile applications, and it has special support for Salesforce platform. With Rapise, you can simulate user behavior and verify system output. So let's see how to do this. I am going to record a simple test which should add a new lead into Salesforce. So first, I need to create a new test in Rapise. So when I am creating a new test, I also have an opportunity to create a new test case in application lifecycle management solution from Inflectra, which is called SpiraTeam. So this is a web-based solution which can be used to track testing activities, requirements, and incidents for projects. So first, I'm creating a new test case for my new test. So let's name it new lead. So I created a new test case inside SpiraTeam, and I will link my new test, my new Rapise test, right to this test case. So I selected this test case right now. Since Salesforce is a web-based application, among these choices at the bottom of the dialog, I need to choose Web, cross-browser testing support. And I am presented a choice which browser I want to use for recording of this test. So I will be using Firefox. Rapise can use Firefox from or Internet Explorer for test recording, and also it can play back ready script on all major browsers. So it includes Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari, and Microsoft Edge. So also the last choice I need to make when creating a new test, in which mode I'm going to master my test. You have two choices. The first one is RVL, Rapise Visual Language. This is a spreadsheet-based approach for people who are not familiar or do not want to use programming during test creation. And the second choice is JavaScript-based mode. So I will use RVL for simplicity. So I have a new test created. So let's record steps of my test. So I am pressing record button. So I need to first switch to correct tab in Firefox. So this is my Salesforce. And let's start recording again. And in the right bottom corner, you can see recording activity dialog, and it will be showing actions captured by Rapise while I will be interacting with Salesforce. So I click on Leads tab inside Salesforce, and in the recording activity you can see that Rapise captured tab object and my click action. So let's go to the list of leads, press new lead button, and we have a form for a new lead. So let's enter name and last name and company name, and select the lead source from drop down. And you can see in the recording activity that all my steps were captured. So I typed the text that I selected the value from a drop down. So let's save the new lead. So the lead is created. Let's verify that on this page we have a lead with the name James Bond. So to do this, to generate verification statement in Rapise, I move my mouse over the value I want to check during script playback, and I press Ctrl+1 keyboard shortcut. And I'm presented the list of properties of this particular object. So I want to verify that inner text of this element is James Bond. So I press OK. And in the recording dialog, you see the last line. It should verify that the element has text James Bond. So let's go to the list of leads. And now I'm going to move my system into the state before I started recording the script. So I will delete my lead here. So I press mouse on the line with the new lead. So I click in company column on company name. And here you can see in recording activity dialog that Rapise automatically captured this as clicking on Acme value inside company column. So let's press the delete button and confirm deletion. And also you can see here in the recording activity that Rapise captured this prompt from browser, and during playback it will be correctly answering such prompts appearing from the browser. So you don't need user interaction. Okay, and let's go to Home tab as the last step. So I press Finish. And here in Rapise, I need to select my newly created steps into the spreadsheet, into RVL. So I press Insert here. And you can see how Rapise tests look like. So it has pretty simple structure. So each line contains an action, and in columns you have object name, you have action which should be performed. And if this action receives some parameters, then these parameters follow the action. So here in the last column, param value, you can see that we entered text James Bond, Acme company, and selected web as a lead source. So here is our simple test recorded. So let me go to Settings tab of Rapise and do a couple of option tweaks. So first I want to stop my test execution if there is any error during execution. And also I want to capture screenshots during execution. And I want to include those screenshots into report. And also I want to capture only controls with which Rapise interacts. So I changed a couple of options here. So let's save. Here in the object tree, you can see, this is in the left side of Rapise, you can see all objects that Rapise captured during recording. And from this tree, you can see types of those objects and in which windows inside browser those objects appeared. And based on the type of the object, you can determine which actions can be applied to this object. So, for example, you can click on a cell in the grid, click on a specific text, or examine the number of columns or column names of this grid. So let's execute the test. We have selected Firefox as a browser, so playback is performed on Firefox at the moment. So Rapise enters values, performs verification, and then deletes the lead from the system. And goes to the Home tab. After execution, Rapise shows you the report, execution report, where each step is represented by a single line. So if the step was executed successfully, then it is green. If there are any issues, the step will be red. And also, since we decided to capture screenshots, you can expand some notes in this report and see the screenshots. Also, Rapise generates a single HTML page with a flow of all screenshots that were captured. So you can see what actually was happening during test execution. So this can be useful when you troubleshoot and try to find out why the test failed. If there are some changes in their application or your Salesforce plugin, for example, which you are going to test, or if there are some issues with the test itself. Okay, so let's close this report. Okay, so we created a new test, and now let's save this test into SpiraTeam. So the files of this test will be uploaded into SpiraTeam, and then we'll be able to use SpiraTeam to schedule execution of test sets on different machines in our environment. So you can execute, for example, the same test coverage on different browsers on different computers. So let's go into SpiraTeam. And here I have the list of test cases which were created. And this is our test case Salesforce New Lead 2. It was not executed yet. So let's go inside to see how it is organized. This test case, you can add a description later for the test case, what it should do. This test case is linked to Rapise as automation engine and to our test which we created in Rapise. So let's go to the list of test sets. Test set is just a collection of test cases. So let's create a new test set. And then add our test case into this test set. So we go into test set. And then on the overview tab, we need to add test cases. which we want to execute with this test set. So I'm adding new lib2 here. And also, for example, I want to execute this test on some machine in my network, and I want to execute this test on different browsers. So, for example, on Chrome. So let's go into the test case first and define a parameter which can be used to select a browser on which we want to execute the test. So I go to Edit Parameters. There is a global variable in Rapise which designates a browser which should be used for execution. Its name is j_browser library, and let's set default value to not set or something. So we created a parameter for our test case. So now we can go to our test set. And there we can define a value for this parameter. So let's select it here and define it as home HTML. So we have a test set which should be executed on Chrome. So for example, you can have several test sets, each test set for a specific browser, and you can execute those test sets in parallel on different machines and gather all the results inside SpiraTeam. So let's schedule execution of this test. First, we need to specify that it is automated, and then we need to select the name of a host where we want to execute this test. So on a machine where Rapise is installed, there is a special service running which is called Rapise Launcher. So it is installed together with Rapise. And this instance of Rapise Launcher identifies itself as this automation host. And I selected the same name of the host in my test set here. So, and to immediately execute the test set, I will select some date in the past. So this test schedule will be immediately overdue. So let's save it and go into Rapise Launcher. So it queries SpiraTeam for new jobs every minute, or you can select the interval how frequently you want to query SpiraTeam. So once this timer hits 0, Rapise Launcher will query SpiraTeam, and it should show our test set Salesforce2 that it needs to be executed. And once Rapise Launcher will start executing it, so it will download all the files, all this test set to this machine into a temporary folder and will execute. So right now I have Chrome browser active, and you can see how Rapise executes the test on Chrome. And as values. And when the test execution is complete, Rapise Launcher will automatically upload all the results into SpiraTeam. So once it is finished, we will go to SpiraTeam here. here is our test set, and there is a tab test runs. And here we see our test run, and we can go into it. And here we see the same report like in Rapise, with a line for each step which was executed. And also we can see here the same screenshots. So this time the test was executed for using Chrome browser. Okay, so we have a simple test created in Rapise, but usually when you have a test, you want to parameterize it in some way. So you want to make it data-driven. So I open it in Rapise back. Here is our RVL spreadsheet, and let's insert a few rows in the beginning and define a map with values in columns, and let's call it config. So I will remove some data which I don't need. And for example, let's parameterize company name. So I will name the first column as company, and let's put here Inflectra. And let's scroll our spreadsheet. Here is the line 16 where we enter the name of the company. So here I select my config map and then create a binding to company value. And also at some point we click on the company name in the grid to delete the new lead, so we need to parameterize here as well. So we have changed actual value to parameter in 2 places. So let's save our test. And here is Salesforce, and let's execute the test. And this time it should create a new lead within company Inflectra. We should be able to see this time. Yes, so the value was used from the map config. So what we did is we parameterized the test and put all parameters at the beginning of the spreadsheet. Sometimes this is not enough, and you may want to put values, put data into external spreadsheet. So in this case, you can go to Files. So this is actually a file view, the list of all files that represent this particular test. So let's create a new spreadsheet. Let's name it data, and let's have just 5 rows and 5 columns. Here is our spreadsheet. And let's name the first column company, and let's put a few rows of data here. For example, people, Microsoft. So we have 2 rows here in this spreadsheet, and I close it now. And in RVL, we can create a new map which is bound to this spreadsheet. So I go here, define a new map which is range Let's give it same name, config. And here I need to specify the spreadsheet to use, data XLS, name of the sheet, and also -1 means get all columns and rows which have values. Okay, so and this time if I will execute the test, Rapise will grab the first line from the spreadsheet. And what I can also easily do right now is to create a loop which will iterate through all rows of data in the spreadsheet. So I create a loop, say that it should get data from a map config, and inside this loop, let's move the end of the loop after recorded steps. So we want to repeat same steps as many times as many rows we have in data XLS file. So let's execute the test. So it should first create a lead within company Apple, and the second time it should create a new lead within Microsoft. So this is how you can do data-driven testing with Rapise. So you can have all your data inside external spreadsheet. You can automatically iterate through it, and you can easily bound values from columns of a spreadsheet to particular parameters of particular actions in Rapise. So we have created in Microsoft and deleted the lead. Sometimes spreadsheet may be not enough, and you may want to use JavaScript programming. So this is possible. So what we can do quickly to convert the steps into JavaScript is we can select our steps here, copy selection as JavaScript, go to the JavaScript part of our test and insert the steps here. And you can see that in JavaScript the test looks pretty much the same as in RVL. So you also reference the object by its ID. You specify which action to execute, and also you specify parameters to pass to these actions. So here we have company, which is not defined here. So we can easily go into beginning of this method and define variable company. Let's name it Amazon. So right now we have all steps in JavaScript, and we can execute them right here. Generally, it is possible to call RVL spreadsheets from JavaScript, and also it's possible to call functions written in JavaScript from RVL. So if you have a hybrid team with domain experts and with people who have programming background, they can communicate effectively.
Thanks for watching this webinar. To see more videos on software testing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great day.